Isaiah 4 and 6. Let's get it. You get Hosea 4 and 6. Let's get it. Let's get it. Go ahead. Do right. Hold up. I need you to read this. I'm looking at a book called From Babylon to Timbuktu. Right? And I'm going to show you the history of Islam. Before Islam was on the earth, it was called Persian mythology. I need you to read when Muhammad was born. Right there where it says when Muhammad was born. Somebody grab that for me, please. Thank you, brother. And I'm not saying this to down nobody, I'm saying to uplift our people. We are a chosen people. We should be following Arabs. Read that. When Muhammad was born, read.
When Muhammad was born, many Arabs were still worshiping the sun, stars, spirits, and idols.
So when Muhammad was born, Arabs was worshiping the sun, stars. That's why the emblem is the crescent and the star. They was worshiping these different symbols back then. Arabs were. And then let me make it clear, we're not from the seed of Ishmael at all. Read.
The Arabs possessed 360 idols, one for each day of the year.
Read it again.
The Arabs possessed 360 idols.
Hey brother, come here, man. Read on.
The Arabs possessed 360 idols, one for each day of the year.
There was one god for each day of the year over there in the Middle East. 360 gods the Arabs were worshiping. Read.
Muhammad was born AD 570.
Muhammad was born 570 AD. That's almost 600 years after Christ was already here. We had all the books of the Bible were intact. They were already here. Before there was a Quran, you had the Torah and the Tanakh. Before there was a Quran. And the Gospels and the Epistles. Before there was a Quran. Read.
He was descended from the tribe of Quraysh.
Go ahead.
The family of Hashem.
Go ahead.
His mentality was positive. In his youth, he was never taught to read or write.
And he didn't know how to read or write. That's to let you know that he had nothing to do with the compilation of the Quran. Muhammad didn't know how to read or write, so how did he write the Quran? Y'all falling for those stories? Read.
But his imagination was superlative. Muhammad was an extraordinarily handsome man and was eloquent in motivating men with the power of words.
After Muhammad became a camel driver, let's go down.
After Muhammad became a camel driver,
he was a camel driver. That's how he was able to communicate with all these different cultures. He used to jockey people around. That was Muhammad's job. A camel driver. Learn history. Read.
He traveled to the remote, intriguing lands. He led his caravans to Persia, Syria, and Egypt, transacting business with merchants of every kind. And on his business trips, he met with Jews.
So on his business trip, he met us. He met our forefathers on his business trip, which were the Jews. Read.
Christians and members of other sects.
So he started listening to Christians and others of other sects. But how? This before there was ever in Islam. Read.
He interrogated them concerning the tenets of their religion.
He did what?
He interrogated them concerning the tenets of their religion.
So he interrogated our forefathers to find out about how we were worshiping. That's why you go into the Quran, it starts with the books of Moses. Why do an Arab book have Moses in it? Because they got the records from us. Okay? Moses was not an Arab. He wasn't from Ishmael. Isaac wasn't from Ishmael. Abraham was not the father. Abraham's seed didn't go through Ishmael, the chosen. It went through Isaac. It went through Isaac. Read.
He frequented the environment of the Jews and their rabbis.
So he interrogated us regularly to find out about one God. Correct?
Mostly because they were merchants and omnipresent ethnic groups.
Go ahead.
Because he could not read or write.
He could not what?
He could not read or write.
So if he could not read or write, how did he write the Quran? A bunch of madness. You know what they did on those mountains? While they was up in the mountains, him and his friends had our records open, making themselves a new book. They had our Torah and Tanakh. They had the book of Joshua in our records. That's how they got the Quran. Wake up. They use you to make their religion. And now you're following them.
Read on. His heirs were attentive and keen to everything that the Jews related to him.
Go ahead.
Muhammad learned and extracted much from the Jewish religion.
He learned and extracted much from the Jew religion. So if there was no Bible, if there was no Moses, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, there would be no Islam. Wake up, folks. Read.
And compounded it with his new religion, Islam.
His what?
His new religion, Islam.
His new religion, Islam. Don't you know that they was execute Islam by the sword? Which means if you didn't follow it, you would die. That's how when he stormed Mecca. He stormed Mecca and made them follow the new religion of Islam.
Hey, yo, old head, what Bible you reading out of though? That's a book or a Bible?
I'm reading the history.
King James, the fact.
Show me, give me that proof.
What book you reading?
Give me that.